Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about something deeply personal yet universally resonant: the idea that they will regret losing you. We often find ourselves questioning our worth, wondering if we truly matter in the lives of those around us. But let's be clear, your value is not defined by someone else's inability to see it. Embracing your worth is the cornerstone of a fulfilling and authentic life. In a society that often equates self-worth with external achievements, appearances, or the approval of others, it's crucial to shift our focus inward. Understanding your intrinsic value means recognizing that you are worthy simply because you exist, not because of what you do or how others perceive you. Many of us have been conditioned to seek validation from external sources. We chase accolades, strive for perfection, and often measure our self-worth against the success of those around us. This external validation can create a never-ending cycle of comparison and dissatisfaction, leading to feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. When we tie our self-esteem to external factors, we become vulnerable to the whims of others' opinions and societal expectations. This is a dangerous place to be, as it can leave us feeling lost, unappreciated, and unworthy. To embrace your worth, you must first engage in a journey of self-discovery. This involves taking the time to reflect on your values, passions, and the unique qualities that make you who you are. Ask yourself, what do I love about myself? What are my strengths? What do I bring to the table that no one else can? These reflections help you form a more complete picture of yourself that isn't reliant on external validation. Part of this journey also includes acknowledging your imperfections. No one is flawless, and that's what makes us human. Accepting your flaws is crucial in understanding your worth. When you can embrace both your strengths and weaknesses, you create a more holistic view of yourself that allows for growth and compassion. Instead of striving for an unattainable ideal, recognize that being imperfect is a shared human experience. This acceptance can liberate you from the pressures of conforming to unrealistic standards. As you begin to recognize your worth, it's important to practice self-compassion. This means treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a friend in times of struggle. When you make a mistake or face a setback, resist the urge to be overly critical. Instead, acknowledge your feelings, remind yourself that it's okay to be imperfect, and focus on the lessons you can learn from the experience. Self-compassion nurtures resilience and allows you to bounce back from challenges with a stronger sense of self. Another key aspect of embracing your worth is letting go of the need for approval. This can be particularly challenging, especially if you've been conditioned to seek validation from others. However, the moment you release this need, you free yourself to live authentically. When you stop seeking permission to be yourself, you open the door to a life that aligns with your true values and passions. This doesn't mean disregarding constructive feedback. Rather, it's about filtering the input you receive and focusing on what genuinely resonates with you. Surrounding yourself with supportive people is also essential in this journey. Seek out relationships that uplift and inspire you, and distance yourself from those that bring negativity or doubt. A strong support network can reinforce your sense of worth and remind you of your value when you may forget. The people you choose to have in your life should celebrate you for who you are, not just what you do. These connections are vital in reinforcing the belief that you are worthy of love and respect simply for being you. Practice gratitude as a way to reinforce your sense of self-worth. Take time to acknowledge the things you appreciate about yourself and your life. This could be your resilience in facing challenges, the kindness you show to others, or the creativity you bring to your work. When you cultivate gratitude, you shift your focus from what you lack to what you have, reinforcing the belief that you are enough just as you are. Remember that embracing your worth is an ongoing journey. It's not a destination, but a continuous process of self-acceptance and growth. There will be days when you feel confident and assured, and others when self-doubt creeps in. The key is to remain committed to this journey, recognizing that every step you take towards self-acceptance reinforces your worth. As you embrace your worth, you'll find that it not only transforms your relationship with yourself, but also impacts how you interact with others. When you recognize and celebrate your own value, you create a ripple effect that encourages those around you to do the same. This shift can lead to deeper, more meaningful connections as you engage with others from a place of authenticity rather than fear or insecurity. In a world that often tries to define us by our achievements and the opinions of others, embracing your worth is a radical act of self-love and empowerment. It's a commitment to standing firm in your identity, recognizing that you have so much to offer and understanding that your value is inherent and unchanging. By taking this journey, you not only honor yourself, but also inspire those around you to recognize their own worth. The more we embrace our individual value, the more we can create a culture that celebrates authenticity, vulnerability, and the incredible power of simply being ourselves. Setting healthy boundaries is essential for cultivating a life that honors your worth and promotes emotional well-being. In a world that often blurs the lines between selflessness and self-neglect, understanding the importance of boundaries can transform how you relate to yourself and others. Boundaries are not about building walls, they are about creating a space where you can thrive, ensuring that your needs are respected while allowing you to engage authentically with the world around you. To begin with, it's important to understand what boundaries actually are. They are the limits we set on what we will tolerate from others and what we expect from ourselves. Boundaries can be physical, emotional, or even digital. They define where you end and someone else begins, creating a framework for healthy interactions. When boundaries are clear and respected, they allow for open communication, mutual respect, and emotional safety. Conversely, when boundaries are weak or non-existent, it can lead to feelings of resentment, burnout, and diminished self-worth. Recognizing the need for boundaries often starts with self-awareness. It requires you to tune into your feelings and reactions in various situations. Are there particular interactions that leave you feeling drained or disrespected? Do you often find yourself saying yes when you want to say no? These are critical indicators that your boundaries may need strengthening. Take the time to reflect on your experiences and identify patterns that signal when your boundaries are being crossed. This awareness is the first step toward asserting your needs more clearly. Once you've recognized the areas where boundaries are needed, it's essential to communicate them effectively. This doesn't have to be confrontational, rather, it should be an honest expression of your needs. Use I statements to articulate your feelings. For example, instead of saying, "You always interrupt me, try, I feel unheard when my thoughts are interrupted," this approach fosters understanding and reduces the likelihood of defensiveness. Remember, you are not only advocating for yourself, but also teaching others how to treat you. Setting boundaries also involves understanding that it's okay to say no. Many people struggle with this concept because they fear disappointing others or being seen as unkind. However, saying no is an act of self-respect and prioritization of your well-being. It allows you to allocate your time and energy to what truly matters to you. When you decline requests that don't align with your values or that overwhelm you, you are ultimately making space for what does. This practice can lead to greater satisfaction in your relationships and endeavors. It's also important to remember that boundaries can evolve. As you grow and change, so will your needs and limits. What felt comfortable last year might not feel right today. Regularly check in with yourself to reassess your boundaries and make adjustments as needed. This ongoing process ensures that your boundaries remain aligned with your values and current circumstances, allowing you to navigate relationships and responsibilities more effectively. In setting boundaries, you may encounter resistance, especially from those who are accustomed to a different dynamic. This is where the practice of consistency becomes vital. When you establish a boundary, it's essential to uphold it. Inconsistency can create confusion and enable others to disregard your limits. If someone pushes back, gently but firmly reiterate your boundary and the reasons behind it. This may be uncomfortable initially, but standing firm will ultimately communicate the importance of your needs and foster respect over time. Remember that setting boundaries is not a one-time event, but an ongoing dialogue. Open communication is key, and it's important to check in with yourself and others about how those boundaries are working. If a boundary feels too rigid or needs adjustment, don't hesitate to express that. This flexibility demonstrates your commitment to healthy relationships while still prioritizing your well-being. Another crucial aspect of setting boundaries is recognizing that it is not your responsibility to manage other people's reactions. People may respond negatively when you assert your needs, but that is not a reflection of your worth. It's a sign that they may need to reevaluate their expectations or behaviors. By holding your ground, you model healthy behavior and encourage others to do the same. This can be especially liberating, as it allows you to engage in relationships from a place of authenticity rather than obligation or fear of conflict. In addition to personal relationships, boundaries are equally important in professional settings. Whether it's managing workloads, defining work hours, or asserting your role in team dynamics, establishing boundaries can lead to a healthier work environment. Communicate your availability and be clear about your limits regarding tasks or responsibilities. This clarity not only protects your time and energy, but also helps create a culture of respect and accountability within your workplace. The practice of setting healthy boundaries fosters self-respect and empowers you to engage with others from a place of authenticity. When you honor your limits, you signal to the world that you value yourself and expect to be treated with respect. This can transform not only your relationships, but also your overall sense of well-being. You'll find that as you establish and maintain boundaries, you create space for deeper connections, enhanced personal growth, and a life that resonates with your true self. As you navigate this journey of setting boundaries, remember that it's a skill that takes practice and patience. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but with each step you take, you are reinforcing your worth and prioritizing your needs. By cultivating healthy boundaries, you empower yourself to live authentically, nurturing relationships that are grounded in respect and understanding. This journey is not just about protecting yourself, it's about creating a life that honors who you are at your core, allowing you to thrive in every aspect of your life. Cultivating authentic connections is one of the most enriching and vital aspects of our lives. In a world increasingly dominated by superficial interactions and digital communication, the quest for meaningful relationships has never been more important. Authentic connections are built on trust, vulnerability, and a shared understanding of one another's experiences. They foster an environment where individuals can express their true selves without fear of judgment, ultimately leading to deeper and more fulfilling relationships. At the heart of authentic connections lies vulnerability. It's the willingness to share your true self with others, to let down your guard and reveal your thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Vulnerability is often seen as a weakness, but in reality, it is a profound strength. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you invite others to do the same. This creates a space for genuine interaction and fosters a sense of belonging. Sharing your struggles, fears, and aspirations can deepen relationships and create bonds that are rooted in understanding and empathy. To cultivate authenticity in your connections, it's essential to engage in active listening. This means fully concentrating on what the other person is saying, rather than merely preparing your response while they speak. Active listening involves being present in the moment, asking thoughtful questions, and reflecting on what has been shared. By demonstrating that you genuinely care about the other person's experiences and feelings, you create a safe space for them to open up. This practice not only enhances your connections, but also reinforces the idea that both parties are valued in the relationship. Another key element in fostering authentic connections is the willingness to be open and honest about your own experiences. This requires a level of self-awareness and reflection. Take the time to understand your feelings, needs, and motivations. When you communicate openly about your thoughts and emotions, you allow others to see the real you. This openness encourages them to reciprocate, creating a cycle of authenticity. Sharing personal stories or insights can be a powerful way to build rapport and deepen connections. It's also important to recognize that authenticity in relationships is a two-way street. For connections to thrive, both individuals must be willing to invest time and effort into the relationship. This may involve reaching out, making plans, and showing up consistently. Authentic connections don't just happen, they require nurturing and commitment. Regular check-ins, quality time spent together, and genuine expressions of care can reinforce the bonds you share with others. Embracing differences can significantly enhance the authenticity of your connections. Every individual brings a unique perspective shaped by their experiences, culture, and background. Instead of shying away from these differences, celebrate them. Engage in conversations that explore diverse viewpoints and learn from one another. This not only enriches your understanding of the world, but also fosters a sense of appreciation for the uniqueness of each individual. When you create space for differing perspectives, you cultivate a more profound connection that acknowledges and respects the complexities of human experiences. Trust is another crucial component of authentic connections. Building trust takes time and requires consistency in words and actions. Be reliable and follow through on commitments. When others know they can count on you, it lays a strong foundation for trust to flourish. Additionally, it's essential to be vulnerable in your trust-building process. Share your thoughts and feelings, but also be receptive to the trust that others extend to you. This mutual exchange helps solidify the connection and fosters a sense of safety in the relationship. It's essential to approach relationships with an open heart and mind. Avoid making assumptions or judgments based on preconceived notions. Instead, allow individuals to reveal themselves in their own time and in their own way. This openness creates a more genuine interaction and fosters a sense of acceptance. When people feel free to express themselves without fear of judgment, they are more likely to share their true selves, enhancing the authenticity of the connection. It's also important to acknowledge that not every connection will be deep or profound, and that's perfectly okay. Authenticity doesn't mean forcing intimacy or trying to create deep connections with everyone you meet. Some relationships may be more casual, while others may evolve into deep friendships. Respecting the natural flow of connections allows you to engage authentically without the pressure of creating something more than what is intended. Another aspect to consider is the importance of self-compassion in cultivating authentic connections. The better you understand and accept yourself, the more authentically you can relate to others. Take time to reflect on your values, passions, and experiences. When you have a solid understanding of who you are, you're better equipped to engage in meaningful connections with others. This self-awareness not only enhances your relationships, but also sets the stage for deeper interactions, as you can share your authentic self without the need for pretense. As you strive to cultivate authentic connections, remember that patience is key. Building meaningful relationships takes time and effort. Don't rush the process. Instead, allow connections to develop naturally. So be present in the moment and savor the interactions you share with others. Sometimes the most profound connections emerge from the simplest moments of shared laughter, vulnerability, or understanding. Finally, always be willing to reevaluate your connections. As you grow and change, so will your relationships. Some connections may deepen while others may fade. This is a natural part of life. Embrace the idea that it's okay for some relationships to evolve or even end. Prioritize those connections that nourish you and allow you to be your authentic self. Surrounding yourself with individuals who uplift and inspire you will enrich your life and create a network of support that encourages you to flourish. Cultivating authentic connections is a vital aspect of living a fulfilled and meaningful life. Through vulnerability, active listening, openness, and the celebration of differences, you can create relationships that are deep, enriching, and grounded in mutual respect. As you embark on this journey, remember that the effort you invest in fostering authentic connections will yield immeasurable rewards, allowing you to experience the beauty of genuine human connection. Recognizing red flags in relationships is a crucial skill for protecting your emotional well-being and ensuring that your connections are healthy and fulfilling. Whether in romantic partnerships, friendships, or professional interactions, understanding what constitutes a red flag can help you navigate your relationships with greater awareness and intention. Red flags often manifest as warning signs, behaviors, or patterns that indicate a potential problem or a lack of respect and consideration for your needs. By honing your ability to identify these signs, you empower yourself to make informed decisions about who to let into your life and how to engage with them. One of the most common red flags is a lack of respect for your boundaries. Boundaries are essential for maintaining your emotional and physical well-being, and when someone consistently disregards them, it signals a deeper issue. For example, if a friend frequently interrupts you, dismisses your opinions, or pushes you to do things you're uncomfortable with, these behaviors indicate a lack of respect for your autonomy. It's essential to recognize that healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, and anyone who fails to honor your boundaries is not someone who should be in your life. Another critical red flag is inconsistent behavior. People often exhibit patterns in their interactions, and when someone's actions don't align with their words, it can lead to confusion and mistrust. If someone tells you they care about you but frequently cancels plans or doesn't make an effort to communicate, it raises questions about their sincerity. Inconsistent behavior can create emotional whiplash, leaving you feeling uncertain and anxious about where you stand in the relationship. A healthy connection should foster a sense of stability and reliability, not unpredictability. Manipulation is another significant red flag to watch for. Manipulative individuals often employ tactics to control or influence others for their gain. This can manifest in various ways, such as guilt-tripping, gaslighting, or playing the victim. For instance, if a partner constantly blames you for their unhappiness or makes you feel responsible for their emotions, this is a clear sign of manipulation. Healthy relationships should be based on mutual support and understanding, not coercion or emotional manipulation. Recognizing these tactics early can prevent you from becoming entangled in toxic dynamics. Excessive jealousy and possessiveness are red flags that indicate insecurity and a lack of trust. While it's natural to feel protective of someone you care about, extreme jealousy can lead to controlling behavior that undermines your autonomy. If a partner frequently questions your whereabouts, monitors your social interactions, or tries to isolate you from friends and family, it's essential to recognize these behaviors as unhealthy. A supportive partner should trust you and encourage your independence, not seek to control your actions. A lack of accountability is another red flag that can erode the foundation of a relationship. When someone consistently refuses to take responsibility for their actions or deflects blame onto others, it creates an imbalance in the relationship. For example, if a friend repeatedly makes excuses for their behavior and never acknowledges how their actions affect you, it signals a lack of maturity and emotional intelligence. Healthy relationships require both parties to own their mistakes and work together to resolve conflicts. Recognizing a pattern of avoidance and accountability can help you determine whether the relationship is worth maintaining. In addition to these specific behaviors, paying attention to how someone makes you feel is crucial. Trust your instincts. If you often feel anxious, drained, or unhappy after interactions with someone, it may be a sign that the relationship is not healthy. Emotional well-being is a significant indicator of the quality of a connection. Healthy relationships should uplift and support you, while toxic ones often leave you feeling depleted. Taking note of your emotional responses can provide valuable insights into whether the relationship serves your best interests. It's essential to consider the role of communication in your relationships. Poor communication can lead to misunderstandings, resentment, and unresolved conflicts. If someone avoids discussing important issues or dismisses your feelings, it can create a sense of disconnection. Healthy relationships thrive on open and honest communication, where both parties feel safe expressing their thoughts and emotions. If you find that your concerns are consistently met with defensiveness or silence, it may be time to reevaluate the dynamics at play. Recognizing red flags also involves being aware of your own behavior and reactions. Sometimes individuals may overlook warning signs due to their desire for connection or fear of being alone. It's essential to cultivate self-awareness and understand why you might tolerate certain behaviors. Reflect on your patterns in relationships and consider whether past experiences influence your current connections. This self-reflection can help you establish clearer boundaries and make choices that align with your values. If you find yourself in a relationship where red flags are prevalent, it's essential to take proactive steps. Start by assessing the situation honestly and determining whether the issues are resolvable. Open a dialogue with the individual about your concerns and observe their reactions. Are they willing to listen and engage in constructive conversation, or do they become defensive and dismissive? Their response can provide valuable insight into whether they are genuinely interested in fostering a healthy connection. If, after open communication, the red flags persist, it may be necessary to reconsider the relationship. Ending a connection can be challenging, especially if you have invested time and emotion. However, prioritizing your well-being is crucial. Surround yourself with supportive friends and family who can help you navigate the decision-making process. Remember that it's okay to seek professional guidance if you're struggling to assess the situation or need support in making changes. Recognizing red flags is about taking control of your emotional health and ensuring that your relationships contribute positively to your life. It requires a combination of self-awareness, effective communication, and a willingness to trust your instincts. By becoming attuned to the warning signs of unhealthy dynamics, you empower yourself to cultivate relationships that are grounded in respect, trust, and authenticity. Acknowledging and addressing red flags can lead you to deeper, more fulfilling connections that nourish your spirit and promote your overall well-being. In this way, you create a life filled with relationships that uplift and inspire you, allowing you to thrive in every aspect of your existence. Leading with vulnerability is a powerful approach to building genuine connections and fostering deeper relationships. In a world that often equates strength with stoicism, embracing vulnerability can feel counterintuitive. Yet it is precisely through vulnerability that we allow ourselves to be seen in our most authentic form, creating opportunities for connection and understanding that can transform our interactions with others. Vulnerability is not a weakness, rather, it is an expression of courage that invites others to engage with us on a more profound level. To begin with, vulnerability involves sharing our true selves, including our fears, insecurities, and desires. This openness requires a level of trust, not only in others, but also in ourselves. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we are essentially saying that we believe we are worthy of love and acceptance just as we are. This act of self-acceptance is fundamental in cultivating relationships that are based on authenticity rather than superficiality. When we reveal our vulnerabilities, we create a space where others feel safe to do the same, fostering an environment of mutual understanding and support. One of the first steps in leading with vulnerability is recognizing that it is okay to be imperfect. We live in a society that often celebrates perfection and achievement, leaving little room for the messy human experience that comes with being authentic. By acknowledging our imperfections, we liberate ourselves from the pressure to present an idealized version of ourselves. This acceptance opens the door to genuine connections, as we no longer feel the need to wear masks or put on a facade to gain approval or acceptance. Instead, we can engage with others from a place of authenticity, allowing for deeper, more meaningful interactions. Another important aspect of vulnerability is the willingness to share our stories. Everyone has a unique journey shaped by experiences that have influenced who they are today. By sharing our stories, we not only provide insight into our lives, but also create opportunities for others to relate to us on a personal level. When we share our struggles, triumphs, and lessons learned, we invite others into our world and encourage them to reflect on their own experiences. This exchange can lead to profound connections, as stories have the power to bridge gaps and foster empathy. When we see our shared humanity reflected in one another's stories, we build a stronger sense of community. In leading with vulnerability, it is also essential to practice active listening. Vulnerability is a two-way street. It requires us to not only share our own experiences, but also to be fully present for others. Active listening involves giving someone your undivided attention, validating their feelings, and offering support without judgment. When we listen with empathy, we create a safe space for others to share their vulnerabilities, reinforcing the idea that their feelings are valid and important. This mutual exchange deepens trust and connection, allowing relationships to flourish. It's important to note that leading with vulnerability does not mean oversharing or disregarding personal boundaries. Vulnerability is about authenticity and openness, but it also requires discernment. There is a difference between being vulnerable and putting ourselves in situations where we may feel unsafe or uncomfortable. It's essential to gauge the context and the audience when deciding how much to share. Healthy vulnerability respects both your own boundaries and those of others, creating a space where individuals feel safe to express themselves without fear of judgment or backlash. In relationships, leading with vulnerability can transform the dynamics between individuals. When one person takes the initiative to be open about their feelings, it often encourages the other party to reciprocate. This can be particularly impactful in romantic relationships, where vulnerability fosters intimacy and trust. When partners feel safe to express their fears, dreams, and insecurities, they build a strong foundation for a lasting connection. This openness can lead to greater emotional support, deeper understanding, and a sense of partnership that enriches both individuals. Vulnerability can also play a critical role in resolving conflicts. When disagreements arise, it is easy to become defensive or closed off. However, approaching conflict with vulnerability allows for honest communication and understanding. Instead of focusing on who is right or wrong, leading with vulnerability encourages individuals to express their feelings and concerns openly. This approach can facilitate productive conversations that prioritize resolution and healing rather than escalation. When both parties feel safe to express their vulnerabilities, they are more likely to find common ground and work toward a mutually beneficial outcome. Leading with vulnerability can inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect that extends beyond individual relationships. When people witness vulnerability in action, it encourages them to embrace their own authentic selves. This can lead to a culture of openness and acceptance, where individuals feel empowered to express their true emotions and experiences. In workplaces, communities, and social circles, this shift can transform interactions, leading to stronger collaboration, increased creativity, and a sense of belonging. By modeling vulnerability, we contribute to a collective atmosphere of trust and support. While embracing vulnerability is empowering, it can also be intimidating. Fear of judgment or rejection often holds people back from leading with vulnerability. However, it's essential to recognize that vulnerability is an inherent part of the human experience. Everyone has fears and insecurities. It's how we navigate them that defines our connections with others. Acknowledging this shared experience can alleviate the fear surrounding vulnerability. When we understand that others also grapple with their vulnerabilities, we create a sense of solidarity that fosters deeper connections. Leading with vulnerability is a courageous act that can transform the way we relate to ourselves and others. By embracing our imperfections, sharing our stories, and actively listening, we cultivate an environment of trust and authenticity. This not only enriches our relationships, but also empowers us to live more fulfilling lives. Vulnerability is a bridge that connects us to our shared humanity, reminding us that we are all in this journey together. By leading with vulnerability, we open the door to genuine connections that uplift, inspire, and enrich our lives in ways we never thought possible. As we navigate our relationships with openness and courage, we create a world that values authenticity and compassion, paving the way for deeper, more meaningful connections that resonate with the very core of our being. Prioritizing self-care is an essential practice for maintaining overall well-being and ensuring that we have the energy and resilience to navigate the challenges of life. In a fast-paced world that often glorifies busyness and productivity, self-care can sometimes feel like an indulgence or an afterthought. However, understanding that self-care is not merely a luxury but a fundamental necessity can radically shift how we approach our lives and relationships. By prioritizing our own well-being, we not only enhance our own quality of life but also position ourselves to be more present and supportive for others. Self-care encompasses a wide range of activities and practices that nourish our physical, emotional, and mental health. It can include anything from engaging in hobbies and exercising to setting boundaries and seeking therapy. The key is recognizing what replenishes you personally, as self-care is highly individualistic. What works for one person may not resonate with another. This is why it's essential to take the time to explore and discover what makes you feel rejuvenated, grounded, and fulfilled. One important aspect of self-care is physical health. Taking care of your body is foundational to your overall well-being. This includes eating nutritious foods, staying hydrated, getting regular exercise, and ensuring you get adequate sleep. Physical health is intricately linked to emotional and mental health. When you neglect your body, it can lead to feelings of fatigue, irritability, and stress. Conversely, prioritizing physical health can lead to increased energy levels, improved mood, and a greater sense of vitality. Finding an exercise routine that you enjoy, such as yoga, dancing, or hiking, can make a significant difference in how you feel both physically and emotionally. Equally important is the emotional aspect of self-care. This involves acknowledging and honoring your feelings. In our busy lives, it can be easy to dismiss or suppress emotions, thinking that we can simply power through our days. However, this approach can lead to emotional burnout and resentment. Engaging in practices such as journaling, mindfulness, or meditation can help you connect with your emotions and process them in a healthy way. These practices allow you to reflect on your experiences, recognize patterns in your emotional responses, and develop greater self-awareness. By creating space for your emotions, you empower yourself to navigate life's ups and downs with resilience. Setting boundaries is another crucial element of self-care. In relationships, whether personal or professional, boundaries help you define what is acceptable and what is not. Many people struggle with boundary setting due to fears of disappointing others or feeling guilty for prioritizing their own needs. However, establishing clear boundaries is essential for protecting your time and energy. It allows you to say no when necessary and ensures that you can dedicate time to activities that truly nourish you. Communicating your boundaries with clarity and confidence fosters healthier relationships and reduces feelings of resentment or overwhelm. In addition to physical and emotional health, mental well-being plays a vital role in self-care. Engaging in activities that stimulate your mind and promote mental clarity is essential for overall balance. This could include reading, pursuing creative interests, or engaging in problem-solving activities. Furthermore, it's important to be mindful of the information you consume. In today's digital age, we are constantly bombarded with news and social media, which can lead to feelings of anxiety and overwhelm. Curating your media diet by limiting exposure to negative news and following uplifting or educational content can significantly improve your mental state. Taking regular breaks from technology and social media can also help you reconnect with yourself and your surroundings. Another critical aspect of self-care is social well-being. Maintaining connections with friends and family is vital for emotional support and fulfillment. However, it's essential to evaluate the quality of these relationships. Surround yourself with individuals who uplift you, challenge you positively, and support your growth. Engaging in meaningful conversations and activities with loved ones can significantly enhance your sense of belonging and happiness. If certain relationships are consistently draining or toxic, it may be necessary to reassess their place in your life. Prioritizing healthy relationships fosters a strong support system, which is invaluable in times of stress or uncertainty. Embracing the concept of me time is vital in prioritizing self-care. Carving out time for yourself, whether it's a quiet morning ritual, a leisurely walk, or indulging in a hobby, is essential for recharging your batteries. This dedicated time allows you to reconnect with your interests and passions, fostering a sense of joy and fulfillment. It's easy to become so wrapped up in the demands of daily life that we forget to prioritize our own happiness. By making self-care a non-negotiable part of your routine, you send a powerful message to yourself that you are worthy of love, attention, and care. Practicing gratitude is another valuable self-care tool that can have a profound impact on your mindset and overall well-being. Taking the time to reflect on the positive aspects of your life can shift your focus away from what you lack and help you appreciate the present moment. Keeping a gratitude journal or simply taking a few moments each day to acknowledge the things you are grateful for can enhance your overall outlook on life. This practice cultivates resilience and helps you navigate challenges with a more positive perspective. Seeking professional support can also be an essential aspect of self-care. There is no shame in reaching out for help when you're feeling overwhelmed or struggling. Therapy, coaching, or support groups can provide valuable insights and coping strategies. Engaging with a professional can facilitate personal growth and help you develop healthier coping mechanisms. It's important to remember that seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness, and prioritizing your mental health is a crucial part of self-care. As you embark on your self-care journey, it's essential to recognize that it is an ongoing process. Life is constantly changing, and so are your needs and priorities. Regularly reassess what self-care looks like for you and be open to adapting your practices as necessary. This flexibility allows you to stay aligned with your values and respond to your evolving needs. In a world that often demands our time and energy, prioritizing self-care is not just a personal responsibility, it's a radical act of self-love. By investing in your well-being, you are better equipped to show up for yourself and others. The benefits of self-care extend beyond the individual, creating a ripple effect that can positively influence your relationships and the people around you. When you take care of yourself, you create a foundation of strength and resilience that empowers you to face life's challenges with grace and confidence. Ultimately, prioritizing self-care is a commitment to living a life that is fulfilling, balanced, and deeply aligned with your authentic self. The journey of recognizing your worth and embracing the essence of "they will regret losing you" is a profound and transformative one. Throughout this speech, we've explored the critical elements that contribute to our sense of self-worth, including cultivating authentic connections, recognizing red flags, leading with vulnerability, and prioritizing self-care. Each of these aspects reinforces the idea that you are deserving of respect, love, and genuine relationships. As you navigate your personal and professional interactions, remember that your value is not dictated by others' perceptions or their choices. When you cultivate self-awareness and set healthy boundaries, you create a space where your true self can flourish. Embrace your vulnerabilities, share your stories, and actively seek connections that uplift and inspire you. By prioritizing your well-being and embracing the full spectrum of your emotions, you not only enhance your own life but also empower those around you to do the same. Ultimately, the journey is about reclaiming your narrative, recognizing that the right people will cherish and honor you for who you are. They will understand the gift of your presence and the strength of your character, leading them to regret any moment they took you for granted. Stand firm in your worth, embrace your journey, and remember that you have the power to create a life filled with authentic connections, joy, and fulfillment.